Here are 13 vacations gone wrong, from Disney disasters to being pursued by tigers. Grainy crocodile hunter. Imagine how terrifying it would be to have a crocodile join you on your camping trip. Crocodiles are terrifying creatures that have existed for thousands of years. Alicia Sorohan and her friends experienced exactly this while camping in Australia's Bathurst Bay. The group was far from any call for assistance since Cairns, the closest city, was about 200 miles away. The group pitched their tents about 50 yards away from the water's edge because they were aware of the danger posed by the local wildlife. However, one morning at 4, the tent of Andrew Kerr, his wife, and their 3-year-old son was invaded by a long crocodile. Sorohan arrived to the rescue with a torch in hand like a true survivor when she heard her friends screaming due to the animal's intrusion. The 60-year-old woman leapt onto the mighty croc's back and proceeded to punch the reptile in the head and poke its eyes with her fingers until Andrew was free. She was bitten during the altercation, but she managed to survive after the other campers sent out in sauce, and Sorohan was praised as a genuine Australian outback hero. Beyond a massage. Massages are meant to be tranquil, calming experiences that make you feel at ease. But for one young man, this was not the case. When 29-year-old Corey Sorum was sexually assaulted during a massage at the Valentin Imperial Riviera Maya Resort, a young couple's vacation trip went horribly wrong. This was the last thing the couple had anticipated when planning their trip, which was to mark their 10-year wedding anniversary. Corey describes his experience reporting the incident to the Playa del Carmen police station. He claimed that the female listener to his account of the assault asked him if he had enjoyed the sex. Very insensitive, as we all know. At least according to what they told him, she was supposed to be a psychologist. After Corey and his wife had been back home for several months, there was still no word of justice being done. In many similar incidents involving tourists while on vacation in Mexico, this appears to be a common occurrence. 11. The negative Disney. Nothing could possibly go wrong at Disney World since it is meant to be a magical location where children's dreams come true, right? Yes, that's wrong. The Jungle Cruise has been providing vacationers with hours of entertainment since it first opened in 1971, making it arguably one of the most well-known Disney attractions of all time. This year, it even had a movie of its own. Consider how shocking it would be to board one of the ride's boats only to have it sink midway through. Fortunately, within 20 minutes of boat sinking, every person on board was found safe and unharmed, even though the passengers were knee-deep in water. Nevertheless, sharing of pictures of the sinking ship on Twitter continued unabated. Some website users went so far as to suggest that the incident was a publicity gimmick for the upcoming Jungle Cruise movie. Disney made sure to assist the ride users who were on the boat to enjoy the remainder of their day at the park so no vacations were completely ruined, whether it was all just an attention grab or equipment malfunction. The magic must not have been present that day, I suppose. 10. Watching whales. Wherever the enormous aquatic animals are found, whale watching is a well-liked activity. But in 2015, off the coast of British Columbia, a routine boat trip went wrong. The Leviathan II ship capsized due to a significant breaking wave, throwing tourists and passengers into the chilly water. Those crew members who were still on board discovered a rocket flare and fired it to alert a passing boat. Sadly, the incident resulted in the deaths of 5 passengers. Numerous crew members and passengers reportedly did not have life jackets on when the ship capsized, which could have easily saved lives. 2 German tourists who were vacationing when the tragedy occurred filed a lawsuit against the whale watching company for their traumatic experience a year after the accident. Before search and rescue teams could reach the passengers, they were submerged in the chilly waters for 45 minutes, which caused many of them to become seasick and hypothermic. Sadder still, not even a whale could be seen that day. Have you ever vacationed and watched whales? If your experience was similar to this one, what would you do? If you enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. 9. Zipping into tragedy. This list has demonstrated so far that unfortunate events can occasionally occur when you least expect them. One man learned this the hard way while on his honeymoon in Honduras. One of the most well-liked activities on the island of Roatan, which is a popular vacation destination, is zip lining. Like many other visitors, the newlyweds wanted to participate in the full zip line experience while they were. Tragically, the man and his wife collided and he died instantly on the line above the trees. His wife needed to be urgently flown to Fort Lauderdale for medical attention after suffering serious injuries of her own. This unfortunate couple had to go through the absolute last thing anyone would want to experience while on their honeymoon. It appears that the zipline company was not at fault or faced any consequences. The next time you want to ride a wire hundreds of feet above the ground and jump off a tree, keep in mind that it might be your final jump ever. After hearing this tale, do you think you might be able to ride a zipline? 8. The peril of magic. With casinos spread out throughout the city, eye-catching signs and lights, throngs of tourists lining the streets. And, most importantly for this entry, magic shows, Las Vegas is renowned as the world's party and gambling capital. At one of David Copperfield's performances, a British tourist on vacation in the city of Sin experienced magic up close and personal. He offered to participate in one of Copperfield's well-known stage performances. It involved forcing a spectator to enter the stage, vanish, and then mysteriously reappear at the rear of the audience. But even though it had successfully completed the task hundreds of before, something went wrong. To reveal the trick, the British man somehow fell as he was being led to his position. The man reportedly paid nearly $400,000 to cover his medical costs, before deciding to sue David Copperfield and the MGM Grand, the casino resort where the incident occurred. Given that the lawsuit is still pending, the situation is really complicated. The next time you volunteer at a magic show, exercise caution because you never know what kind of magic may be in store. 7. Costa Concordia. Off the Mediterranean coast of Tuscany, Italy, we come across yet another vacation shipwreck. An Italian cruise ship named Costa Concordia got a little too the water. The ship capsized and sank into the water after colliding with unnoticed underwater rocks. Traveling turned tragic when 27 passengers, 5 crew members, and 1 member of the salvage team perished. The ship's 300 passengers were left stranded as it slowly sank into the Mediterranean. Both helicopters and motorboats had to be called in to save them. For sailors, the ship's captain's decision to abandon ship was unthinkable. For leaving the ship early with passengers still on board, he was charged with manslaughter and given a 16-year prison term, until it was refloated and dismantled for parts in 2017. The Costa Concordia sat in the water for 2 years as a reminder of the hundreds of vacationers' miserable experiences. 6. Tiger chase. Everyone adores tigers. We frequently forget how vicious and terrifying they can be because of how adorable and cuddly they appear with their sweet faces and orange and black stripes. While on vacation and participating in a jungle safari in Chhattisgarh, India, a group of tourists decided it would be a good idea to get closer to one of the big cats. 2 enormous tigers were fighting each other as their tour bus passed by when all of a sudden one of them bolted away and headed straight bus. It made an attempt to grab one of the window treatments. There was a tiger chase after it managed to hang onto the curtain until the bus took off. The experience clearly made the passengers fearful. One of the tour guides recorded the incident on camera, and it was uploaded to Twitter. Since the animals in the jungle park are supposed to be more docile and accustomed to humans, many people were shocked to see the tiger acting so violently. The driver and guide were fired shortly after the incident for failing to take the situation seriously and endangering their visitors. 5. Tourist bus road rage. If you've ever been to Paris, you are aware of how bad the traffic there can become. Even though the city is lovely and the sights are enjoyable to view, residents are constantly surrounded by it. You can also become a little irritable behind the wheel, just like people who live in other crowded cities. A bus driver and a group of tourists visiting the city experienced exactly this. By the Seine River and across from the renowned Louvre Museum, the tourist bus driver reportedly had a bad case of road rage. According to eyewitnesses, the tour bus rear-ended a car, igniting a confrontation between the 2 drivers. Even though the car appeared to have only minor damage, the driver still got out to confront the person who hit him. The men began tossing punches through the bus window as the passengers watched in horror as it continued to escalate. The car driver was instantly killed when the bus driver intentionally pinned him up against another car with the bus and restarted the engine. Imagine visiting Paris to see the sights and all you see is your bus driver killing someone. That is one surefire way to sabotage a trip.